So out of all this rhubarb here, we have only something like 20 or 30 maybe run to seeds. There's about 1,000 plants here, and that really goes to show how little rhubarb actually produces flowers and also seed as well. So today's video is going to be about how to grow it from seed, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about how to plant them and how to grow them from crowns and so on as well. Okay, first thing is we probably don't need many plants, so I've just made 6 units here. I've got my rhubarb seeds, which I got, that's the brown ones here on top. I got them from my website. Basically this lady, she's a member, Liz of the Fairy Garden, and she basically sent me these wonderful seeds. So big thanks to her. Harvested in 2013, and so this is great. So what we need to do is just add 2 seeds per pot. So easy way to do it, just stick your fingers in, and I'll just show you quickly what that looks like. We want them to put them about down the depth of about the actual seed itself, the height of the seed, and then basically you just cover them a bit, and that's all there really is to it. I'll stick them 2 in there. Now it's about 2 weeks later, and you can see lovely rhubarb coming up. We have even a true leaf here coming out, so lovely looking rhubarb there. Something is actually starting to munch the rhubarb, so I'm going to transplant it now into these pots here, and I wanted to also show you what is actually munching. It's of course a slug, so make sure that you do check around the sides, in between the cracks as well, and take away the slug, otherwise they're going to eat all your plants as well. Now I've taken one out, and I'm going to separate it very, very gently, and then I can actually plant each one separately in each pot. Make sure to water them really well as well. It's actually better to transplant them now while they're still young. Just makes it much easier. And that's one done. You see the root there. We'll put that one in a slightly bigger pot as well. It's nice and strong. Now they're great gifts as well. You can give them away to friends when they actually grow a little bit bigger. But the first step now is to let them actually grow in these pots, get a wee bit bigger, and then you can actually transplant them out in the garden, or as I said, give them to friends. Now it's about 3 months later, and don't they look amazing? I mean, look how lush the leaves are. I put them on top of this chair so the slugs wouldn't really get at them, but don't they look really lush as well? As you can see there, we have 2 pots, and I'm going to give them away to friends, but actually it goes with all vegetables and plants. The bigger the pot, I mean, they have much more room in here. You can see the difference between even these guys. It's slightly narrower. They have a bit more room, so the roots can actually spread out, and you can really see that even between these two, the difference is huge. So this is about 3 months ago. 1 month ago I planted them from the small pot stage, and I do think that they're very slow to start at the beginning stages as well. So it did take about 2 months for them to get about that high, and in the last month they've grown massively. Now I'm going to transplant them into a holding bed until next spring, let them overwinter, and then what I'm going to do is eventually stick them into a big hole 75 centimeters apart. These are going to get about 20 centimeters apart now, and it's really important that, because they're actually a perennial, so they're going to need to stay in that place for at least 4 or 5 years, maybe 7 years, and it's important that you give them about a half a wheelbarrow of well broken down manure, because that's really something that they love. And I always mulch them as well with grass clippings. Now I've dug 6 planting holes, and I'm not even going to put in compost or muck or anything like that, because this is only for the time being. I'm going to use some of this compost actually that's in here, and I'm just going to plant them up to the level of the actual plant. The depth has to be correct. Ah, lots of ants. Fantastic. Press them in slightly, very lightly. and you get the idea. Now if you're going to get crowns, they're the kind of small plants. They're about a year old, or they usually come from divisions. Then what is really important is if you live in a wet climate, it's important to make a slight hill, a raised hill, and to not bury the crowns. In a drier country you can actually even bury them underground, there's no problem of rot. That's just one thing that's very important to do. Here we're pretty dry anyway. I don't have to put them on a mount. It's depending on if you have very clay soil as well, like an island. You would try and make them, you would try and put them on top of a mount. Forgot what to say there for a second. Okay, so that's them. Stick in the last ones. Bit of compost from over here. Now I'm going to put some colours around them because the slugs are absolutely going to love them. They're so lush. Now that's it. Let's get some colours. Now I'm going to leave these on for till spring, just as the new plant is starting to come up, make its first leaves. And then I'm going to plant them into a permanent location. Let's have a quick look at what bigger plants look like, and maybe how to divide them as well. Now we have a row of plants here, you can just about see them. Just show you quickly what they look like. It's a row here of rhubarb growing, and what happened here, now unfortunately I can't show you how to divide them up because we already did that. I had one big plant here and I divided it up, and the easiest way of doing that is you dig around it with this, and of course then you try to go in between the plants and you turn them kind of back to front like this. You stick it in like that, you jump on it. Now making sure that you've actually dug around the whole plant as well, and then you can, with some of them they're a bit more roundish, you can even go like that and you just can split them apart like that. A really easy, fast way of dividing up plants. So that's it. I hope you learnt a lot about rhubarbs in this video, and as always, thanks for watching. Right.